Hello guys, today I'm gonna discuss with you about a new paradigm in branding strategy. So before we go forward, I will introduce myself. My name is Baby. I'm from Bio Entrepreneurship student cohort 2018. So here's the topic that we will discuss, which is promoting consumers' participation in virtual brand communities, a new paradigm in branding strategy. Okay, this is the outlines. The first is introduction. Second is statistical finding. The third is hypothesis. And then the last is conclusion. Okay, introduction. Virtual brand communities. What meaning by virtual brand communities? Communication with consumer is a one of crucial aspect of relationship marketing. In this context, the internet has come out as a new medium that favors the communication among consumers and organizations. Like every firms, they starting to use several online tools like chat, forums, email, WhatsApp, Facebook, in order to contact consumers and to allow interaction with them. Furthermore, this online relationship have motivated them to create the social groups in the internet, and also with online tools or online communities, it provides a great opportunity to understand the members' likes, dislikes, needs, behaviors, and concerns. The hypothesis in here, they have for the prediction about their finding or research. The first is greater user satisfaction is related directly and positively to greater trust in a virtual community. The second is higher levels of communication in a virtual community is related directly and positively to greater levels of trust placed in that community. The third is greater levels of trust placed in a virtual community are related directly and positively to greater levels of participation in that virtual community. And the last is greater participation in a virtual community is related directly and positively to greater effective commitment to the brand around which the community is developed. In the hypothesis one, they said or they predict that in online context, many researchers have proposed that a higher quality in the communication between the parties produces higher degrees of trust. In this way, trust in a virtual community is built thanks to this repeated interaction among the virtual community members. Therefore, if an individual posts several messages and there are no response, trust in other community members will not arise, and consequently, following the trust transfer process in the online context, trust in the whole community will not be developed either. The second hypothesis, they say that this greater value generated by trust is the consequence of the role of trust in decreasing the uncertainty of a relationship. In fact, trust means that one of the parties involved in a relationship will think that the other party will not exploit its vulnerabilities. In this way, individuals' commitment and participation in a relationship will only be possible if they trust the other party. In addition, if we focus on attention on virtual communities, trust may also help to favor the integration of members and to increase interaction among them. Thus, bearing in mind all these considerations, it is reasonable to think that trust in a virtual community and in its members may be a major precursors of the individual's intentions to participate in virtual community. The third hypothesis, they concern about participation in a brand community helps to develop the relationship between the brand and its consumers. In that, some authors have also suggested that participation in these communities may foster consumers' loyalty to the brand around which the community is developed. Okay, the last is hypothesis that they concern or they consider it's among all the hypothesis first, second, and third, it may favor higher levels of consumer effective commitment to the brand around which the virtual community is developed. Therefore, taking into account this consideration, they propose their last hypothesis, which is greater participation in the virtual community is related directly and positively to greater effective commitment to the brand around which the community is developed. So you can see that in the statistical finding, there are two pictures shows that it's to analyze and to understand the behavior of the virtual community members, regardless the product around which the community was developed. More specifically, subjects had to respond to several questions about their levels of satisfaction, participation, and trust in the virtual community they had selected, about the perceived level of communication that exists in that virtual community, as well as about their effective commitment to the brand around which the community was developed. Okay, so the first thing they do is they collect the data from web survey that they using Spanish speaking members of several virtual communities. Okay, and then with several posts were include on heavy traffic website, email, distribution list, and well-known electronic forums, and they generated 215 valid questionnaires, which is atypical cases, repeated responses, and incomplete questionnaires were controlled. The last is they to guarantee that the sample was representative. They compare two virtual communities. The first one is socio-demographical, and then the socio-demographic characteristic of the sample, and with another studies on the virtual communities. In another virtual communities, the example we can see on the table 1 or the pictures above. It's example of studies that they found that they compare with the socio-demographical and socio-demographical characteristic and Bagozzi and Dolakia. It another virtual communities studies, so they compare with them, and the result were very similar, and we can conclude that in this study they investigate about some of the antecedents of individuals' participation in a virtual community and the effect of these participants on consumer commitment to the brand around which the community is developed. So, and then the 3 points, it's not 3 points but 2 points. 2 points that we can conclude in this study. The first is results. The result that have shown that trust placed in a virtual community may increase the levels of participation in that community. The second is they found a positive effect of consumers' participation in the virtual community on their effective commitment to the brand around which is developed. And with the second point, this result especially relevant for managers, since the high cost every company has to face in order to win new consumers, make it increasingly necessary to reinforce the ties established with current customers. So therefore virtual communities emerge as a powerful tool to strengthen these ties. Indeed, this study offers some alternative in order to increase consumers' commitment by promoting their participation in the virtual brand community. So every managers, or more specifically to foster consumer participation in the virtual communities, the firms should promote communication and group cohesion in the community in order to encourage interaction among community members. The second is satisfy in the virtual community some of the consumers' needs. And the last is a guarantee the sustainability of the virtual community in the long term. To do that, the organization of the firms should constantly analyze the evaluation of its members' needs and interests. Yeah, they should evaluation about it and analysis. Thank you. This is for me. This is our discussion. And the last is so this is my references or my citation. I think that's all from me.